I just think whoever is over there at CNN determining like whether it's breaking news needs to like chill the F out.
They're just
Like,
trying.
Wimbledon is not breaking news to like 90% of the population.
And, they're just trying to get you to click on their apps so that they can, so that you can see the ads so they can sell more ads.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there's Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Instagram and Bluesky at Namely90s. You can also find us on YouTube every Monday at youtube.com/@Namely90s. And if you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/Namely90s and get signed up for one of our support levels. Welcome to the Namely 90s Roadshow.
Woo! Yeah, Andrew's taking us on the road. Why did we think you needed like a studio?
I know, right?
Before
I just deeply overbooked myself this week, and then the one night I could record, I had the worst migraine, and it just wasn't happening.
Yeah,
so here we are.
Yeah, but it does afford us one nice thing, because usually we record, midway through the week. So if something happens on the weekend, like something big that divides America, we don't know about it, and obviously by the time we could talk about it the following week's episode, we may have already died. So
it's kind of stale. Yeah, it's a little bit old.
So
we're recording Sunday, the day before it releases.
Yeah. So Andrew, on 3, I think we should share what the big breaking news is for today. 1, 2, 3. Shannon Doherty
Richard Simmons died.
Oh.
Oh, wait, Richard Simmons was yesterday. Still,
fair.
That's the big news this weekend.
Yep. Richard Simmons.
Nothing else
Shannon
happened
Doherty.
at all.
Wasn't there a third one? A third person passed away?
Dr. Ruth.
Yes, that's right.
The old sex lady.
Yeah. So I guess, as they say, death comes in threes in the celebrity world. So
certainly not 4s, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Former President Donald Trump has been shot through the ear.
Mm-hmm.
That was something.
Yeah. I still don't know. They haven't. I saw something early on that said a bullet chipped the podium or the teleprompter, and then that nicked his ear. But I mean, either way, people are dead, and
that's
an attempt
quite
was made
alarming
on his life. So
it was crazy though that they were like, he stands up and the crowd goes wild and starts chanting USA. There's literally a dead person in the crowd at this time.
Mm-hmm. A devoted father and firefighter. So
I'm not sure you're allowed to say this. A bit tone deaf, if you will. I don't think you're supposed to say that to the hearing impaired people, but still, I don't know the other term for that.
Hit in the ear. So, yeah.
It's just a bit of a look when your presidential candidate has been shot at. People at your rally have been killed by a type of weapon that you don't feel is dangerous and refuse to regulate, and then you start chanting USA.
Mm-hmm. And
that's
on top of that, instead of being rushed off stage by Secret Service, you pause to make a power fist and get kind of an epic shot, kind of an epic photo shot. Someone took.
He was a bit dazed, granted, but he also did a bit of a heil on the way off the stage. But he was trying to wave. But then the hand was flat and straight out, and I was like, no, we're not doing that gesture.
I mean, have you noticed that because he doesn't do full black power fist. He does a fist for power and then outright. Wasn't that Mussolini's thing? Now that I think about it, wasn't that the Italian fascist salute.
Well, that'll be a memory when we're in the prison camps.
Yeah, and this will be the episode that seals our fates.
Yeah, and I was, like we said, like 30 to 40% chance that this was orchestrated by the Republican Party.
I mean, so the kid was a registered Republican, but he hadn't voted yet in the presidential election.
And he had donated $15 to a progressive organization. To be fair,
a liberal progressive or a Democrat progressive organization.
To be fair, though,
it was before
it's possible that he's Republican, but felt so bad for the Democratic Party for the shape they're in that he gave them a consolation donation. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like most shooters, probably a mental health thing, and it's.
I mean, but as you know, there were lots of good people on both sides in this situation.
And God bless America for giving him access to high-powered sniper rifles.
And I'm proud to be an American.
God, that played at so we had a 4th of July playlist when we were barbecuing or having a cookout out by the shore. And that song came on, and like halfway through, I kind of just look at the my friend who had it was just a Spotify playlist with all like American patriotic songs, and
you had some Toby Keith on there.
Little Toby Keith. There was Fireworks by Katy Perry. You know, it was a 4th of July playlist, but Proud to Be an American came on, and I was just like a verse in, and I just kind of look over at my friend. I'm like, you want to skip this one?
The Imperial March comes on.
Yeah. It was just
Wait a second.
And she's like, yeah, I've never listened to the lyrics on that one before. I'm like, I have, and I was surprised it's still playing.
Oh boy. Is it Lee Greenwood? I think so.
Is that the guy who did like, where were you on 9/11?
No, that was Alan Jackson. That's on his Where Were You and the World Stopped Turning. And then there's the Toby Keith, courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, where he like mocks the Middle Easterners that we were bombing.
Classy.
That was cute.
Yeah.
What else?
Oh, I remember South Park's version of the Alan Jackson song because Kenny was dead, but he had a winning ticket to like an all-you-can-eat candy store thing that the other 3 boys wanted, so they started building a tower to heaven, and Alan Jackson just comes out and he's like, where were you when they built a ladder to heaven? Yeah.
Oh man, those were the days.
I know, over 20 years ago. Yeah, Shannon Doherty died at the age of 53, ripped to the max. Also,
yeah, why is everyone dying this weekend?
Well, she had cancer, and she's had cancer for a long time.
Well, okay, no, I'll grant you that. But like 3 sort of famous people, fairly famous people.
I mean,
the course
Dr.
of 24
Ruth
hours.
Old, and also Richard Simmons was like in his late
76.
70s.
But I mean, all that exercising.
True, but could you really call what he did exercising?
I think he was so energetic that he just used it all up
on the cocaine.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Oh,
well,
no.
I mean, it was the 80s.
Was so. Allegedly, yeah. I don't know. Out of all of them, the most 90s was Shannon Doherty. Oh, I guess Dr. Ruth was big.
Dr. Ruth was kind of falling out of favor in the 90s because it was a very old-fashioned like thing. I mean, she obviously did a lot for the generation that she educated, but like by the 90s, Dr. Drew had firmly stepped into that role.
Didn't she pivot back to like being sexual? Like I remember it was just like listening to your grandmother talk about sex. Yeah,
I feel like she would just talk a lot about douching.
Oh my God, that just
and like
unlocked
diaphragms.
Memories. Yeah, yep. But I mean, Shannon Doherty.
That's like all old ladies talking about.
Beverly Hills 90210. Well, in the 90s, yeah. Beverly Hills 90210. Charmed. Known for not getting along with their cast members a lot and leaving.
Didn't Valerie do a bit about like her like eating the head of one of her fellow actors or actresses?
Yes. Yes.
Ripped to the max.
Ripped to the max. But I mean, yeah.
I just realized I should probably mention this. I'm going to see you next weekend.
Oh yeah,
in person.
And given the fact that we haven't recorded an
Shall
episode
I bring my
cover
microphone?
Probably. Although, you know, the layout of my place is a little different now, so I may not be facing you when I do my recording.
Why wouldn't you look at me during?
Because the table's back there now.
No, I know. It's the Family Guy a bit.
Yeah, rhinoceros. Yeah, that'll be fun. We still haven't planned anything to do for the 2 days you're in town.
No. It's bad. We're going to figure it out.
At some point. But yeah, let's get into the episode. Twisters comes out this week, I think. And yeah, that's what we should do. We should just go see Twisters.
Yeah, we could. Let's see. The trailer, he says he's like a tornado junkie.
Oh yeah.
Or something. Just, and I'll have to see it.
Uh-huh.
But it sounds like a very weak story premise.
Oh, does the 30-year-old sequel sound like a weak premise that they did as a cash grab?
Yeah, I just think, no, I know what you mean. But like, if the explanation is that like, since my dad was into tornadoes, I'm also into them. It's like, yeah, but couldn't you do something like more like, you know, he was at first was like afraid of the weather, and then like he went to meteorology school, but then he got kicked out because he like punched his professor, you know, like
and then he got
some sort of actual backstory.
Tornado.
Like, I really like tornadoes now because my dad liked them. Like, that's just such a crappy premise. That might not even be the real premise, by the way. That's just the premise I'm deducing.
It feels
inferring
like
from the commercial.
She was bitten by a mutant tornado, and then with great power comes great responsibility.
And now he just shoots tornadoes out of his the bottoms of his feet or something.
Yeah.
Or she. Sorry, I don't know. It's confusing.
I don't remember who's the actual protagonist.
Is Glenn Powell? I don't know. Whatever.
So we're gonna do a boot or reboot. We're gonna watch the trailer for Twister 1996 right now.
Oh, did you ever see the compilation of all the times that they yelled either it's like "come on" or "let's go" during Twister?
No, that's
it's like a 2-minute video of people just going "come on,
let's go." Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Twister.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Storm chasers. Let's go. All right, we're moving.
Scientists have been studying tornadoes forever, but still nobody knows how a tornado works.
We have touchdown. Tornado is on the ground.
Woo-hoo! It's a wonder of nature, baby.
These sensors take scientific measurements.
You gotta get in front of the tornado and put it in the damage path.
You gotta get further ahead of it.
I know what I'm doing.
Have you lost your nerve?
Tighten your seatbelt.
I love how he's wearing a suit.
Yeah.
It's heading this way.
The storm's gonna be a lot bigger than we anticipated.
Cow.
Cow.
Go, Julia. We got cows.
We got cows.
That was a good size.
I love that lady's hair. It's such big hair.
The like Terry Hatcher light woman.
She's like very fancy business lady hair.
It's headed right for us. Get out, look out.
Where'd you get all this beef?
Did you see my cows out front?
No.
Oh.
Hey, it's the guy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh yeah.
I like how that was the food they were really excited about. It's like some sloppy ass fried steak and like some nasty eggs.
Oh, I mean, Midwest, different standards.
Let's see. Bill Paxton just casually like wearing a suit while driving or suit jacket while driving a Dodge Ram.
Oh yeah.
I would say like sort of peak Helen Hunt.
Mm-hmm. Like starts with this, ends with Castaway.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. Carrie Ellis.
One of his earlier roles. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Rip to the Max.
Rip to the Max.
Yeah.
Do you remember the plot of this? Which we'll go over in Andy's minute.
Storm chasers and like Bill Paxton's character used to be together with Helen Hunt's character.
Yep.
And then like the big haired lady is like his new love interest.
Fiance.
She's also kind of a lawyer. And then of course at the end, lawyer therapist, same thing. And then of course at the end, he ends up back with Helen Hunt somehow, and big haired business lady is like, your lifestyle's too crazy for me.
Yep.
The end.
That's pretty much it. All right. Now for twisters, as they say.
Okay. Well, this is a different trailer than I've seen.
It's the latest one. That's probably going to get us copyright struck because of the music.
Probably. You can pause it periodically. Okay, literally 10 seconds of nothing.
Is that Kiernan Shipka?
Oh.
The once-in-a-generation tornado outbreak continues across Oklahoma.
We've never seen tornadoes like this before, and we need your help.
No, I don't chase anymore.
Kate, we just saved lives.
I'll give you 1 week.
Such a good accent.
All right, fellas.
Believable
we got
accent.
PhDs from NASA, FEMA, and Kate. She's the smartest person I know.
Hey, dudes. This is interesting. Who are they?
It's Tyler Owens. Calls himself a tornado wrangler.
Tornado wrangler.
Scared of nothing and I'm scared to death.
You know, our crew is not like your crew.
I can't breathe.
Good Lord.
Catch my breath.
We don't need PhDs.
Is this Luke
fancy
Bryan?
tech.
We don't need no science to study science.
Sometimes the old ways are better than the new.
Well, you can always trust a guy who puts his face on a t-shirt.
Oh, that was their attempt at comedy? Okay.
Why does this feel like Dakota Johnson?
Yes, ma'am. You got quite the reputation, city girl. You think you can disrupt a tornado?
In theory.
This would have been Matthew McConaughey if it was 15 years ago.
But in
Yep.
the
Or
field,
25 years ago.
in the moment,
Yep.
I got it wrong.
But still also Helen Hunt. For some reason.
We never had a chance.
You want one?
And he just like flies a jet all of a sudden.
We got twins! Twins!
They're combining.
It's like they're twisters.
Go faster.
Let's ride.
It's almost like what happened in Twister.
Oh yeah, there were multiple twisters.
We've
Like the
never
first
seen
thing was
tornadoes like
dual
this
cyclone.
before. Cyclops?
Cyclone.
It's all right to be scared.
I would be scared.
Fear's the reason you do it. You don't face your fears. You ride them.
Does she fear him? Is that the thing?
I think they're doing too much of the thing where the
You ever
screen
see
goes
anything like
black and
this?
it goes
Not like
quiet,
this.
and then like big things happen again the next scene.
90s action, baby.
It looks so much faker than the original. More fake. And they went too country with it. Michael Crichton is spinning rapidly in his grave such that it's actually creating a small tornado underground.
Fair. So we don't know what the plot is yet because it comes out this. Well, actually, it came out on the 8th in London. That must have been the premiere because, of course,
I'm sure London. It's a big hit in London where they A, don't have tornadoes and B, don't have country music. Really.
Yeah. I feel like you would have premiered this in the heart of tornado country.
Twister felt more accessible than Twisters in terms of like not having to be a hillbilly to enjoy it.
Wow. The person that spoiler, one of the actors that I wanted to see in this movie apparently is a member of Kate's deceased storm chasing team. So there's going to be flashbacks or a really bad intro. But this comes out on the 19th in the States, which should be this Thursday, Friday. The premise is Haunted by a devastating encounter with a tornado, Kate Cooper gets lured back to the open plains by her friend Javi to test a groundbreaking new tracking system. She soon crosses paths with Tyler Owens, a charming but reckless social media superstar who thrives on posting his storm chasing adventures. As storm season intensifies, Kate and Tyler and their competing teams find themselves in a fight for their lives as multiple systems converge over central Oklahoma. So,
I mean, for all the money and time we spent like chasing storms and trying to learn how storms work and stuff, how about not just building like shoddy trailer homes everywhere in the place where there's a lot of tornadoes? I'm just saying.
Like filled with tornado tech so that...
like by now we probably could have spent as much money like anchoring things to the ground and not research them. Because like, what are we going to do? Create a counter tornado that spins the other direction and like inactivates it?
That's what this movie seems to be implying.
Cool.
You know,
have we tried nuking the tornadoes? Anyway, I'm supposed to choose here, aren't I?
Yeah. Instead of referencing a former president's plan to stop tornadoes.
Well, wind is a finite resource. Eventually, the tornadoes will just stop because we'll run out of wind. That fan there is using a lot of it up too. Let's see. I'm going hard boot on this one.
Fair. I'll join you. Just watching the clips from the original for the Namely 90s Minute has been like, I forgot how good this movie was.
And like the 4K is really cool. I would probably see that. I mean, there's definitely some cringy parts of the movie that are like a little bit dated and a little bit just like the writing is a little cheesy, but overall, trailer's good. They try to overdo it with the trailers now. I think that's what's happening.
I mean, technically, those are both modern trailers because the 4K release. So
technically, yes, but the first one is better.
Yeah,
so I'm one was boot better on this one. I'd probably see Twisters.
Yeah, probably when it comes to streaming. Well, that's been boot or reboot. Andrew went with the boot for, I think, only the second time, but yeah. Impressive.
All right, now let's go to Brandon for the Namely 90s Minute.
Welcome back to Namely 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of the release of Twisters, we're looking back at the original film, Twister. Twister is a 1996 disaster thriller film starring the girlfriend from Castaway, Carmen from Spy Kids, Hudson from Aliens, the Princess Bride, the wife from Still Standing, Captain John B. Harriman from Star Trek Generations, and Truman Capote in Capote. The story starts in Oklahoma in 1969, where the young protagonist is hiding from an F5 tornado with her family when her dad gets killed, trying to keep them safe in the cellar by securing the door. 27 years later, she is a tornado-obsessed meteorologist with an estranged husband and leading a ragtag team of storm chasers. Her estranged husband shows up with his fiancée and asks her to sign divorce papers. Mad About You shows her ex-husband Dorothy a capsule of weather sensors he designed, but it has to be deployed close to a tornado to work, which she rushes off to use before signing the papers, so they follow her. A rival storm chaser shows up with a similar device made from stolen plans, which makes the ex-husband mad and accompanies his ex-wife to deploy their design on the tornado. They chase some spouts and roll a truck, but are unscathed. In the next storm, Dorothy too gets crushed, causing What Women Want to break down, and then Tombstone tells her he's still in love with her, which his fiancé overhears on the CB radio and then leaves. The Twisters follow them to a new town where they hide in a drive-in theater for protection. They add wings to their Dorothy prototype to make it more aerodynamic, and then they use the final prototype in the back of the mean older brother in Weird Science's pickup, which they sacrifice and run away from an F5 tornado on foot. And survive by strapping themselves to pipes in the basement of a building. Afterwards, they make up and celebrate with their storm chaser team. And that's Twister in a Namely 90s Minute. More or less.
And now back to the show.
All right, I have a game for Andrew based on Twister or Twisters. I'm calling it Twisters True or False Trivia Game. And I didn't exactly tell Andrew the complete truth about this. It's true or false. Andrew has to guess true or false about this fact about whether this Twister is real or not. And by that, I mean, well, let's just get into the first question. Is there an artist named Twista An American rapper, he is best known for his chopper style of rapping and for once holding the title of fastest English-speaking rapper in the world, according to Guinness World Records in 1992, being able to pronounce 598 syllables in 55 seconds. Is Twista a real artist's name? Twista. With an A.
It's 100, so 500 syllables in 55 seconds. It's 100
almost
syllables.
600. Almost 600.
A second?
Yeah.
Or 10?
55
10 per
seconds.
second.
10 per second. Still impressive feat. I would have rounded up to, 600.
It sounds doable. I'm going to go true. Not for me.
You are correct. Twista is real.
Ding.
Nice. Already.
Wow, that's a thing that exists.
Twista, yeah, Guinness World Records, 1992. Plus 90s related, so perfect. All right, next up. This one's an easier one. You probably have heard of it before. Twister, the board game or floor game. Add a twist of fun into any party or family night with the game that ties you up into knots. This Twister game is the classic game with two more moves. Give the spinner a whirl and see what's next as you try to keep your hands and feet on the mat. Right foot red, can you do it? Left foot green, you got it. If your knee or elbow touches the mat or you fall over, you're out. Be the last player standing to win. Is Twister, the game, real?
This seems like a trick question.
It does, especially since it's the second one. But
it is real.
I've heard of it before. Is that your final answer? Is Twister the board game that we've played? Have we played this before?
Okay, yes. And I feel like it's always like, basically it's just a guise to molest people. I feel like, or at least in kind of compromising positions. Twister is a real game.
You're correct.
Okay.
Why are you second guessing yourself?
You were trying to screw it because you try to screw with me a lot. And then I was like, wait, is it one of those things where like everyone thinks it's called Twister, but it's actually called something different?
A Mandela effect. Yeah.
Yeah, Mandela effect. Yep.
All right. Question number 3. Twister, the beer. Twister is brewed in Amarillo Centennial CTZ and with Amarillo Centennial CTZ and Simcoe hops. It is well balanced with malt, hops, and alcohol, slightly bitter with a fresh hop aroma of floral, citrus, and pine. Best enjoyed fresh. That's why we make it in such a limited supply. The actual bottling date is printed on each bottle. Is Twister, the beer, real?
No, I don't think so.
Even after I read all that?
I don't think so. I think I would have heard of it.
You're correct. Andrew, do you want for a bonus point, do you want to guess which beer I was reading to you in that description?
I guess it's an IPA.
It is an IPA. It's a famous IPA.
Famous IPA, but in limited quantities.
Mm-hmm. Probably Californian.
No, I don't know. I'm sorry.
That was the description for Pliny the Elder from
I thought of it.
Russian River Brewing Company. All right, Andrew, you're
not much of a beer guy.
You're going at 100% already. Next up, we have Twisters, the restaurant. Twisters, that's with an S. Twisters is a New Mexican cuisine restaurant chain from the city of Albuquerque, New Mexico, which was founded in 1998. Twisters is best known for its appearance in the AMC dramas Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul as an outlet of Gus Fring's fast food chicken chain, Los Pollos Hermanos. Is Twisters the real name of that restaurant in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul?
No.
Final answer?
Can't remember the name, but no.
That is incorrect. That is actually the Twisters in, it's not Albuquerque, but some small New Mexican town. Yeah. But you're still doing fine. You're 3 out of 4. That's 75%. We got 6 more questions to go. Next up, we have Twisterella. which is, I believe, a portmanteau of Twister and Cinderella. The song. Twisterella is a song by British rock band Ride. It was released as the second single from the band's second studio album, Going Blank Again, in April of 1992. Is Twisterella a real song?
I want to say it is.
Final answer?
A lot to go on here. I just think it sounds real.
All right. You are correct. Twisterella is a song by British rock band Ride, off of released in April of 1992. Death Cab for Cutie did a cover of it, which is how I learned of the song.
It's funny, though, that like you can say something, and because it sounds so terrible, I'm like, this has to be real.
Yeah, this sounds like something Brandon would have played in a car that while I was stuck in listening to it. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Twister, the superhero, comic book hero, I believe. The Twister is a fictional character, a comic book superhero who first appeared in Blue Bolt Comics from Novelty Press in 1941. Is the Twister a real superhero or not?
No, I'm going to say no. A real superhero. You're funny.
You know what I mean. Final answer on that one?
Final answer. Not a real thing.
Oh, unfortunately, it is a real thing from 1941, though I literally just learned of it doing research for this
Are they all true?
They are not all true. One of them was already not true.
Oh, true. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Next up, question number 7. 8, 9, 10. Yep. Twister, ellipsis, Write It Out. Twister, ellipsis, Write It Out was an indoor special effects. The Ride. Twister, Write It Out was an indoor special effects attraction based on the 1996 film Twister, located in the New York themed area at Universal Studios, Florida. Was Twister, Write It Out, the Ride a real thing? Because they have like the backlot tour and they have Backdraft and all those.
Hocus Pocus 2. No,
I believe that's owned by Disney.
But why would it be in the New York section?
Ooh, that's a good question. Why would it be in the New York themed section at Universal Studios Florida?
Because it's in like Kansas or Oklahoma or whatever.
True.
I also have never been there. No idea what it looks like. I'm gonna say not real.
Final answer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Andrew, you are wrong. Twister, Write It Out is or possibly was a was. Yeah, was in the statement.
Was that foreshadowing though to the new movie where it's about a guy who like rides bulls apparently?
Well, now it's called Twisters, Write It Out. No. All right, you're still
you gotta ride things you're afraid of. Is she afraid of it?
She afraid of him? You're still riding pretty at 4 out of 7. You're over 50%. I think we've determined as long as you do better than
you're almost all true, which is kind of annoying, but
yeah. Next up, we have Twisters, a Disneyland breakfast food. It's a heavy start to... This is a review from a blog that I found. It's a heavy start to a long day, but this deep-fried tortilla stuffed with egg, cheese, and sausage is worth it. Grab it with salsa verde before 11 a.m. outside Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Chances are you won't have to eat again until dinner. I
think it's real, but I don't think it's called a Twister.
Interesting. You are correct. I think it was like a deep fried chimichanga or something.
It's called a it's called the instant diarrhea.
Yeah. The official Disneyland name is instant diarrhea. Congratulations. You're at 5 out of 8, which means you're still above the 50% mark. Which means you're beating the odds. All right. Next up, we have Twister, a 1999 play. Twister, a ritual reality in 3/4 plus overtime if necessary. That's the full title of the play. Is a 1999 play by Ken Kesey, loosely based on L. Frank Baum's 1900 novel. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and the 1939 film adaptation of The Wizard of Oz. It also features the West African deity Legba. Just for flavor.
This sounds real as all hell.
You're correct, Andrew. It is real as all hell. You're doing good. 66%, 6 out of 9. All right. Finally, last question. Let's see if you could bring it up to a 70%. Get a C on this. Twisters, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate character. Twisters or Suista are the two deuteragonists of Monolith Soft's Xenoblade Chronicles 2, serving as companions for the main protagonist Rex. They joined Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as the 4th fighter in the Fighters Pass Volume 2 and the 10th downloadable character overall. That's Twistas or Twisters.
Well, you said at the first half that you said a bunch of words that didn't even sound like English.
They're two girls. They transform into each other. The character's name is called Twisters.
I could buy that. I think it's real.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is actually Pyra and Mithra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But Andrew, you still got 60%.
Right.
D's get degrees, as they say.
I think they say C's get degrees.
Pretty sure it's D's.
Oh.
Because that's technically not failing.
Oh, but right? I could have worked less hard in school. Dang it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Congratulations. You've won Twisters True or False Trivia Game, and you've disappeared. Well, that's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. Find us on, remember, you can follow new episodes out every Monday. Find us on Instagram, Bluesky, and YouTube at namely90s.com. And tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. If you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/namely90s, also with a 90s. And finally, you can contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, Twisters, Pocket Cast, CastBox, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and we'll catch you next time. Oops, I forgot to extend the meeting and Andrew disappeared.